Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Zargram Xanders, Magician Extraordinaire, and I wanted to say hello to everyone and thank you for returning to my studio. Previously, you guys had gone on a journey to deliver a box to the Weaver in this town. You dodged some, you cavorted with some ogres and was able to settle a dispute between him and a nymph in the river. And you dodged some dire foxes, only befriending another one of them while the other one ran away. And you named your new friend Dire Fox Akin, A-Q-U-I-N. And you delivered the box to Stella, who is an arachne, and she is a weaver in this town. Now, inside the box was dragon skin that she would like to make into something, and she has offered to pay you guys to get a special needle that she needs to make stuff out of this dragon skin. But she tells you that this needle is located in a cave filled with basilisks. So near the end of the last session, what you guys did is you used some money and you traded the Amulet of Fire, I think it was, for a dwarven goggles or goggles of gaze protection. This way, you can look at the basilisks, and they can look at you, and you're not going to turn to stone. So, that's where we were. Where we are is you saying goodbye to Stella as you show her that you got, you show her that you got the goggles, and she goes, "Oh, good. Please be sure to be careful in that cave. It has many basilisks, and Deathgaze Cave is not named for nothing. It'll be a very hazardous journey, but I'll pay you well for the needle, because once you retrieve it, I'll be able to boost my business." Now, I'm going to give us a simple decision at the start of this. What do you do now? Okay, option 1 is ask for more details about why she needs this specific needle and why it's even in a cave. Leave and go to the cave. Get drunk at the pub and pass out. And 4 will be play with Akin. You guys have decided to play with your dire fox. Okay, so you leave Stella's house. You spend some time playing with Akin, your new pet, and you two are playing in the park. Now, there's an opportunity for you guys to improve your relationship with Akin because they kind of like you, but you could, in terms of like pet affection, to actually, go further, you might be able to even start, training and domesticating them a bit more. So you're going to roll a skill check to see how well you do with improving your relationship with Akin, okay? Look at the little D20 at the top. All right, we are rolling a skill check in 3, 2, 1. Boop. Ooh. You roll a 4. So 4 plus your skill is 9. So you roll an 11. No, 13. You roll a 13. So you play with Akin, but you're still getting over the fact that it's a dire fox. So that means not only is it bigger, but it's covered in lots of spikes. So you're not quite sure how to go about this well, but you're getting there. It's still early in your relationship with this pet. So, or this, animal companion is what I should really call it. It's not really a pet. Right now it's still pretty much a wild animal, but it's one that likes you. So, okay. From there, I am going to make the assumption that you guys decide to go to the cave next. Now that you've played with Akin, you will head to Deathgaze Cave. Such a lovely, cheery place. So you and Akin, not Akia. You and Akin, the dire fox, walk several miles out of town to the Deathgaze Cave. As you arrive, you notice that there is diminishingly amounts of life and wildlife near Deathgaze Cave. It seems that the animals of the area like to give this cave a wide berth. So this cave even has a neglected trail the nearest trail to the cave, or the nearest trail, is actually pretty neglected. So it stands to reason that the basilisks do not exclusively remain in this cave. And it's possible that these basilisks, there we go, have been here for some time. Because not only is the road badly maintained, but there's no wildlife, and you're getting this creepy vibe, because even the birds don't like being around here, so the forest is disturbingly quiet as you approach this cave. But you get there, and you were half expecting some bandits to be in a relatively abandoned area, but on your way, you couldn't help but notice some moss-covered rocks. To your horror, as you uncovered them, you saw humanoid figures turned to stone under the moss. They looked like rough people with, crude weapons. And you realize there probably were bandits who tried operating here, and they paid the price. You realize now that you're in an area that's relatively dangerous, but you got your trusty dire fox with you. Now, you enter the cave. It's a craggy limestone cave with all kinds of damp, water. There is a stream of sketchy water that leads from within the cave and flows out in this little trickle. As you enter the cave, you notice that there are 2 paths you can select from, and we're going to vote on which. And actually, let me back it up. We're actually going to vote on how you're going to approach this cave. Okay, you enter the cave. It is dark, damp, and sketchy. There are 2 paths to take. One going north and one going east. What do? Okay, so you can either 1, go north into the cave, 2, go east into the cave, 3, leave the cave, 4, examine the cave for details, 5, try tracking the basilisks if possible, 6, lay a trap for the basilisks. Okay, so we've reached 2 minutes, and you guys have elected to examine the cave for details. Okay, I actually like this choice. Alright, I'm going to roll a skill check for both you and Akeen to find ways to examine the cave and look for evidence and clues and whatever you can find. Here's the roll for you in 3, 2, 1, boop. 11 plus, what does that say? Skill check 9, so 20, a soft 20 for you. Now we shall roll for Akeen. Rolling in 3, 2, oh, that's right. Well, no, I'll just roll on screen. 3, 2, 1, boop. Rolling at 10, and he has a plus 5. So the 2 of you work together, picking up a scent and picking up all kinds of things. Akeen does not like this cave. Akeen seems actually quite scared and seems to be trying to encourage you to leave as well. It doesn't like the look of this cave, and as you examine, you realize there's evidence of other people who walked right into the cave, but there's not many footprints of people leaving the cave, you realize. It then becomes clear to you that had you gone down one of the tunnels, that you may have been ambushed and never left. It's now that you realize that you have a pair of gaze protection goggles, but Akeen doesn't. So, you have realized that in all likelihood, this is the home field for the basilisks, but from your previous observations, you have deduced that it is not improbable that the basilisks may depart from the cave at different times of day. Hence why animals seem to be loath to even come near the cave, and why even the bandits got petrified. So, this is the information you glean from this. That this is a basilisk home turf, and going deeper may not be a great idea. Cave is super sketch. What do? Get out of the cave, go deeper, cast a spell. So you have 3 options. Okay, you have decided to cast a spell. Alright. You realize that it may be a good idea to determine the location of the basilisks. So you're going to cast a detect life spell. It'll let you detect life through walls, but if you ever played Oblivion where you have like detect life, and it just shows you like a wispy silhouette of them. It doesn't show you any of the terrain. It doesn't show you any of the furniture or whatever the hell, or features inside the room. It just shows you where in space they are, and you just see a silhouette kind of. It looks magical. So that's the kind of spell you're going to be casting to see. Okay, are there like things lying in wait or some shit? So that's what we're going to do. We are rolling your spell check in 3, 2, 1. Boop. All right, that's an 8. Plus your magic, so that's 16. So that's a decent score. The roll isn't that great, but you have your knowledge and skills made up for it. All right, so you expended some stamina. You spent about 9 stamina points getting here, and you're spending about another 8 for this spell. You detect a total of 7 basilisks in here, and the 7th one is really, really big. So you realize that the basilisks are all in a chamber up ahead, and you deduce that chamber is located between the east and north passage. You realize that both passages would have taken you to the same room. The basilisks are in a room, and it seems logical that what they do is when someone approaches one tunnel, they will wrap around and surround you from the other end, and thereby trapping you and tricking you into looking at them and thereby petrifying you or destroying you. So that's probably why people don't tend to leave this cave, because they have a natural forming ambush here. So, now that you realize what the cave is, now that you realize what the likely shape or general shape of the cave is based on deductive reasoning, okay, so now you have basically figured out, or basically roughly deduced what the basilisk's main plan is. Because it's a cave and because there's a, stream of water, it is likely whichever route you go, one of them will come by and surround you. So, now that you have some idea of what's going on here, we'll have another poll. Basilisks seem to use the cave's shape to ambush intruders. What do? Alright, we have a poll now. Here it is. Here's your options are the following. 1 is leave the cave and attempt to form your own ambush aside. 2, screw it, Leroy Jenkins this bitch. 3, try to lure the basilisks out. You have decided to leave the cave and attempt to form your own ambush outside. Now, it stands to reason that not all the basilisks might leave the cave all at once. So you estimate that you might be able to get 1 or 2 of them, but you do realize that since there's 7 of them, you might be able to pick some off. Anyway, what happens next is you guys will now start setting up traps around the cave perimeter. So, we need to make several skill checks to set up ambushes. Now, what you decide to do is to use the Team Rocket approach, aka a tiger pit, and to make a bunch of basilisk traps all around that basically are giant holes in the ground, and so on and so forth. So, here's a follow-up question to the previous one. How shall you create your basilisk traps? 1, use SP and dig them manually. 2, use MP and dig them magically. 3, half magic, half elbow grease. Or 4, try a different plan. Hide, pull from overlay. So you have decided to use magic to set up your traps. This will make it easier. And I'm going to say that you're going to make about, let's say 8 of them. 1 for each primary and secondary direction on the compass rose. You will be using magic to create 8 traps. 1 on the north, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast positions around the place in an attempt to maximize your chances of catching any number of basilisks in this cave. Now, you do not have max MP right now. May I suggest that one of you uses a magic potion to restore that a little bit. Check your channel point redemptions. It costs 100 points, not bits, points, to consume a mana potion. Ow! That's Oh, I must have messed it up because it dropped a green one on me. Okay, you already did it. So then we are rolling a d6. So I shall roll d6. Well, this is the thing with MP, is that it doesn't recover as easily as stamina, and yeah. But you'll be spending now you have a little bit of extra MP to use. So, not nothing. Okay. So now we need to figure out how we want to divide this. What we could do is make 7 traps, all using 3 MP apiece. The more MP you pump into a trap, the more likely it is to succeed. So yeah, we'll say 7 traps with 3 of them. That way, you don't know where their path is, but you'll know that with that many traps, one of them is bound to succeed. So here comes the magic check to make all these traps. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Boop. Maybe Akeen can help you? Oh. They roll an 8 plus 1. You have used the last of your MP. And you have made 7 traps with a quality, with your magic check being 8 plus 3, 11. Not bad. Very painfully average. These basilisks will have to do a pretty bad job of skulking around. But, let's see how they roll. Okay, so here's what happens. You make 7 traps, expending the last of your MP, and you and Akeen climb into a tree for the night and hide. To your knowledge, basilisks are kind of big, heavy, lizard-like creatures. So, odds are good that they might not want to climb a tree if they don't have to. They're not like leopards. So, you guys climb a tree, and you're hiding there. We shall now roll your stealth check, or we're going to roll a skill check for hiding. 10, plus skill of 9, 19. You do a great job of hiding from the basilisks. You wait until night. At nightfall, the basilisks start to emerge from the cave. Let's see how many of them emerge. I'm going to roll a d7. 4 of them emerge, leaving only 3 in the cave. Now, the DC of your traps are 3 plus your check. So you rolled 11 plus 3. They have to roll a 14 or higher to not fall into the traps. It's not the best it could be, but it's not nothing. It's not nothing. I'm going to roll with a physical D20 in my hand for each of the 4 basilisks. If they roll under 14, they get caught. If not, they don't. So here we go. First roll. 16. One of them is safe. 4. You have caught a basilisk in one of your 7 traps. 6 remain. So there's 2 basilisks left. 15. One almost gets stuck but dodges out of the way. Last one, 9. You have caught 2 basilisks. Now, that is them leaving the cave to go hunting for the night. But not all monsters have great memory. I don't think basilisks do either. So, on the return trip, they have to not fall into the trap. So the last 2 have a second chance to fail. 17, nope. 4, you have caught 3 of the 7 basilisks in the traps. Congratulations. Daytime comes, and you notice something strange. Alright, you're outside of the cave, and you and Akin are still in the, up in a tree. You notice something during the day. These aren't ordinary basilisks that seem to be emerging from the cave. Because now that there's daylight, they look a lot different than you anticipated. You notice something about these basilisks, because when the sun rises and the basilisks, the 3 basilisks are in the traps, with the exception of one that made it back in the cave, they burst into freaking flames as daylight hits them. There are only 4 basilisks left, but you realize that these are no ordinary basilisks. These are abyssal basilisks. These are ones that are infernal and evil. 3 of them perished in the sunlight. What do you do now? Okay, I'm going to make a poll for this. 4 abyssal basilisks remain. What do? Wait another night and see if the remaining ones are dumb enough to fall for the new traps. Go in and fight them. Build a fire to smoke them out of the cave. Try to use magic to cause a cave-in. Cause a cave-in. Alright. 3 is build a fire to smoke them out of the cave. And 4 is try to use magic to cause a cave-in. You have decided to get out of the thing and go build a fire to smoke them out of the cave. You build a bonfire in front of the cave. It's a big bonfire. And we're going to roll to see how good of a job you do, because I'm actually curious now. Rolling. Boop. Oh, crap! 18 plus 9 for your skill check. You build a damn big bonfire in front of the cave. You actually cut down a tree or 2 and make it a giant, like, funeral pyre in front of the cave. It's so huge that it's painful being anywhere near this thing. You guys don't even want to actually be there. So you guys go back into the tree and let the properties of the giant bonfire draw air from within the cave and try to suffocate the basilisks or smoke them out. Whichever comes first. So, I am now going to roll to see how well you hide back in the tree. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boop. Ah! Natural 1! Oh man, I'm going to roll to see severity, how bad of a natural 1 it is, because I don't want to... Okay. Okay, it's not that big a deal. Okay. You fall out of the tree as you try to climb into it. You lose some hit points for doing that. You have lost your temporary hit points because you landed on your head. So all your temporary hit points, gone. But it's a good thing you had them, because you landed on your freaking head. But you get back in, and now you'll try again to hide in a tree. So, now I roll to see how do the basilisks resist the fire. So we're gonna roll. I'm gonna roll intelligence checks to see if they can figure out what to do about the smoke and stuff like that. So first rolls. We have 4 rolls. One gets an 18. 4. 17. 17. One of them stays behind, and yeah, it suffocates to death. I rolled 3 of them. I need to roll a 4th. 2. 2 of them stay behind, and 2 of them run out. The 2 that stay behind, they suffocate to death. So now you have 2 basilisks. But much to your surprise, the 2 that ran out, one is an ordinary basilisk. One is an ordinary one, but one of them is a greater abyssal basilisk. You have 2 basilisks, one greater, one lesser, and they're both abyssal ones. And now they're going to look around because they can't help but look around. 16 plus 3, 19, doesn't make it. And 2, they do not see you. They start fleeing from the cave. And guess what? Wait! It's daytime when you did this! Oh, they gotta resist the sunlight. 18, the greater one's fine. The lesser one is taking damage. They don't like being in the sunlight. You realize that the sunlight starts turning them to stone. But they're unstable and they start disintegrating. And they realize they start trying to run for cover. Any cover, anywhere to get out of the sun. And hey, would you look at that? There's a bunch of shady holes nearby. So, I'm gonna roll to see if they're smart enough to stay out of... No, sorry. The holes from the tripped traps, or 4 of them. That means there's like 3 of them left. I will see if they fall into any of the new ones. 5 and 6. As the basilisks are fleeing the flames, the sunlight, and the cave, they fall into some of your unused traps. You have killed the basilisks with cheap tactics. Congratulations. All 7 of the abyssal basilisks died because they did not have a proper fire evacuation plan. Or they were in such a panic that they ran into your traps. You won. Congratulations. The fire takes all day to burn down. By then, the cave is very much out of air. The cave takes a while to reventilate, and eventually it does. It's been 2 days. It's been the day where you built the thing. It's been it took all night for the damn thing to burn. And it took another day for it to reventilate, to get for all the smoke to get out. Now, 2 days later, it's safe to go in. And go in you do. You and Akin... Actually, you don't need your goggles of gaze protection right now. So you take them off and put them in your pack. You and Akin re-enter the cave. It smells bad in here. It smells like smoke, charcoal, burnt stuff. It smells horrible, and everything is blackened. But you now have to find the needle in the blackened cave. This will be difficult, but now we will have a decision about how you wish to proceed. Fine. How do you find a single needle in an entire cave that is now covered in soot, ash, smoke, or deposited smoke, and such? Look for it manually. Cast a spell. Composite option of manual, search, and spell. Give up and go home. You've decided to cast a spell. Here comes your magic check. So we're gonna roll your magic check in 3, 2, 1. Boop. Oh, okay. Well, that'll work. Because you are now so close to victory, you cast a spell, a very powerful one, for 18 mana points, which is locate desired object. Basically locate object, but it's targeted. You are now trying to find the needle. The spell reveals to you that the needle is not in the cave anymore. It is in one of the traps, and it is where the greater basilisk died. The needle was inside the greater basilisk all along. So, you go out of the cave, you climb down to the hole, you pick up the needle from the remains for the charred, ashy remains of the basilisk that died in the sunlight, and depart with the needle, which is now covered in all kinds of, well, no. Actually, the entrails and goo would also be burnt too, because it's still part of the basilisk. Yes, okay. Anyway, you have recovered the needle. Alright, you go back to town, and you meet with Stella. You deliver the needle to her, and she says, "It's all blackened. What did you do?" You explain exactly what you did, and she says, "Okay, that's odd." But you deliver her the needle, she doesn't ask questions, and she pays you a bag full of gold coins. You count it up, she has paid you 100 gold coins. So you get a whole fat sack of it, and she begins to work making the dragon leather. Now, you guys now have a choice of how you wish to celebrate. You now have 4 options to see what do you do with the last bit. You've gotten paid, you got a whole bunch of money. So 1 is to go to the pub, get drunk, and party! Take a nap at the end is number 2. 3 is play with Akin more, and 4 is run around town naked, screaming, and showing off the cash to everyone. You play with Akin, and now you're starting to trust each other more. Your bond with Akin has grown. It's pretty soon. If you keep this up, he might even trust you to take orders from you. So you spend the rest of your free time doing that, and then so you have lots of money, and you have completed your quest.